Hello, everybody. This is Matt Higgins from the Nighttime Podcast. It is Monday, July 28th, 2025, and had some stuff I want to get off my chest. First of all, so Trump over the weekend went to Scotland to do whatever he does. And I noticed in the news cycle, everybody's talking about how he was caught on camera cheating at golf. And my immediate thought was, who gives a fuck? He's a convicted felon. His best friend was a pedophile. Trump probably has a really sketchy past with young girls. Probably. I don't know for sure. But all evidence so far points to that possibility. And I don't understand why we were giving airtime to him cheating at golf. Who gives a fuck? Like when I talk about Democrats and liberals and progressives focusing on the wrong shit, this is what I mean. Nobody cares. Do you think you're going to swing any votes by reporting on that? Do you think it's newsworthy? Because I don't. How is him cheating at golf going to win you any votes if you report that? Like, nobody fucking cares. While the rest of the country is burning, you want to focus on that? Oh, and his poll numbers are tanking. You know what? I could give a fuck about polls anymore after these last few elections. I don't trust polls. And quite frankly, nobody else should either. Let's face it. In order to conduct a poll successfully, you need honest and truthful feedback. And if I were a Trump supporter and all my friends were Trump supporters, and I happened to get a call asking me who I'm voting for and why and what are my major issues, I would immediately tell them, I hate Trump, I hate everything about him, I hate his policies, and I would do everything I could to fuck with that pollster. Because nothing would give me greater satisfaction than for liberal biased media to report that, oh, Trump's numbers are tanking and the Republicans are behind the eight ball and all this other shit, just to turn around and vote for Republicans and vote for Trump initiatives, just to make liberals and Democrats look bad. And if it's that easy to fuck with the polls, why should we trust them to begin with? It's so easy to manipulate them. And I don't give a fuck about Trump's poll numbers anyways. He's already in his second term. He's not going to get to run again. It's not going to happen. No matter how much they try. The only way Trump stays in power is if he declares himself king. He's already got the judiciary. He's got the Supreme Court in his pocket. They'll back him on it. That's the only way it'll happen. Because if he opens himself up to a third term and somehow gets both the House of Representatives and the Senate and the judiciary to back him on finding some weird fucking way to allow for a third term to run, then definitely Obama will run. He would have to. If Obama has a hair on his ass, he would have to run. And then I think you would see Trump get humiliated. And I'm pretty sure Trump doesn't want to go out like that. I'm pretty sure he's willing to go off into the sunset after this second term and say, you know what? I raked this company for billions, this country for billions of dollars. I fucking fooled everybody. I got away with it. I'm the master. And that's where I got to hand Trump credit. He knows exactly what this country is about. This country doesn't give a fuck about itself. It really doesn't. Because the country is based off of the people. And when the people inside the country don't give a fuck about each other, they are very easily played. And Trump is a master manipulator. He gets away with it all the time. I mean, he's the second retarded president we've had. The first one was Junior Bush. Okay, that was to me, that was the litmus test for where this country is, and it was and is now. And Trump took that and ran with it. He knows how much hate festers in this country. He just understood how to focus that hate on specific things so he could run on them and get elected. And what does that tell you about the country if over 78 million people voted for him and his bullshit? They're not reachable. All they care about is having something to hate and being on the right side of that hate. Say what you will about Republicans, they know how to win elections. And the problem is, Democrats are still trying to play by the rules in a book that Republicans have clearly burned and don't give a shit about. So, I don't give a fuck about poll numbers. I don't care that Trump's polls are tanking. Yeah, it may wound his pride a little bit, and you might take some weird satisfaction out of that, but I don't take any satisfaction out of that, considering that he's the one in power and gets to do whatever he wants to do. I get no satisfaction out of his ego being wounded. And and let's face it, he probably doesn't believe it anyways. He probably doesn't believe that his polls are down. So he's not in touch with abject reality anyways. But like I said, polls are so easily manipulated and can be skewed to whatever you want them to say. I don't put any faith in them anymore. And neither should anybody else. Nobody should be taking great satisfaction in this. Prove to me that America actually cares. In the midterms, the votes are what count. The vote is what matters. And until that vote gets cast, it's all bullshit. It's all just it's talking points. It's shit to focus on when you should be focusing on other things. And I will say the Democrats put themselves in this position, especially on immigration. Let's face facts. Democrats sat on their fucking hands for so long, knowing that there was a problem at the border, and not caring. Republicans had no choice but to run on that, because they knew that would be a winner. They knew that this country hates people that aren't like them. They don't like white people, or they don't like people that aren't white. I mean, that was low-hanging fruit. And the only time Democrats finally stood up to do something about it was at the end of Biden's term, when they were forced to face the realization that, yeah, Republicans are going to take this and run with this and beat the ever-living shit out of us with it. And they were right. They were right. How hard is it to understand that you just can't have an open border with everybody running into the country? I'm all for immigration. Like I said in my last video, if you want to fix the problem, fix the bureaucracy of the problem. Okay? More judges, more lawyers, more courthouses focused on immigration. Getting people here legal in an orderly fashion. With the understanding that, yes, we are on stolen land to begin with, and how dare we make the rules about how stolen land gets used. But that's where we're at, okay? The past is the past. We should not forget it, but we should also understand that we're well beyond that, and there's no making up for it. Having open borders isn't the answer, okay? We're now somewhat a civilized society with rules. So use those rules to our advantage and start helping people get here legally. Take away one of the biggest Republican talking points. Why? And still, nobody wants to, on the Democratic side, has offered any kind of counter proposal to just having the Nazi red bands come out and fucking kidnap people off the street. They don't have a... Yes, it's bad, and yes, you should report that it's bad, but what's your fucking answer? What's your counter proposal? What is the end game for you? You're not giving anybody anything to work with. Nobody wants to commit and admit on the Democratic side that yes, immigration was a problem. They should just say, yes, we sat on our asses for too long and didn't do anything about it until we were called out on it when we knew we were going to lose that proposition. And then we did something. Well, what fucking good are you then? What good is your party if you're not going to do anything until you're in fear of losing your jobs? You see where that got you? It got you with Trump as president. He fucking owned you guys. So, what do we do about it? How about we start offering proposals that will help fix it? Get rid of the immigration thing. Seems so easily fixed. You can have your borders, you can protect them, and still allow immigration, and just do it legally. I understand that people are coming here, fucking walking through deserts and jungles to make life better for themselves. That kind of commitment from them requires that much, if not more, commitment from the politicians in this country to help them. If you're the country of immigrants and you're the country for everybody and you want to rest on those values, then fucking prove it. It's not that hard. Then, when you have a reasonable response to this issue, Republicans can't turn around and say, well, you don't care about open borders, you don't care about the state of the country, you don't care about illegals. Yes, we care about illegals, which is why we're going to help them become legal. Then all they can run on is, well, their true issue with most Republican voters is they just don't like non-whites. Then that's all they have left to fall back on. Then you expose them for what they truly are, and you eliminate that headache for yourselves. Because now they have to rest on their laurels, which is, yeah, fuck all non-white people. We got here first, which we didn't. We weren't here first. I'm pretty sure the Mexicans and the Indians, Native Americans, were here first. And that's another thing. I heard somebody in the Trump administration was on probably Fox News and said something to the effect of, we're not white people, Europeans, we're not immigrants, we're settlers. We came here and we settled. Well, what a great way of saying we're a bunch of racist, xenophobic, land-stealing, genocidal pricks. You know what I mean? The settlers sounds much nicer. So, I know I'm scatterbrained about my expressing my thoughts, but I'm so fucking frustrated with my party. We have such a capacity for doing good things, yet we seem incapable of living up to our expectations that we set for ourselves. And I don't understand it. And this is true for most politicians, I think. They're more worried about keeping their job than doing their job. Which is why they'll never vote term limits on themselves, because why the fuck would you give up that gravy train? Well, you're useless as a politician, if that's your viewpoint. Yet we keep voting these people into power. I don't understand it. Why is the right so good at getting people on board with their message? Because they know how to channel hate and make it work. So until somebody proves otherwise, and I say Obama is an outlier. He was fantastic for the country. Yeah, there was some bad shit that went on under his administration. I don't think any president has ever walked away unscathed about stupid shit. But let's face it. It took how long to get our first black president? And then what happened? The country fucking flipped and voted in Trump. How do you counteract that? I don't know. I think it's proof that this country sucks. And it's going to continue to suck until we figure out a way to not let fear and hate dictate our politics. And Democrats have a lot of work ahead of them to figure that out. How they can turn that hate message into something different. What do they hate? Okay, identify what they hate and figure out a way to work around that and fix whatever problems they think are at issue that are causing them to hate, so that they got one less thing to beat you over the head with. Now, I'm not smart enough to be in politics. That's why I'm doing this. But are you telling me there's nobody smart enough to come up with a plan? Trump had, let's take the economy. Let's take food prices. Like this alone proves that this country is far below the intelligence level that we should be, considering the amount of information that's at our fingertips. Trump had zero plans on how to reduce prices for everyday shoppers. All he said was, I'm going to stop inflation and I'm going to reduce the prices on everything. That's all he said. That was his message. Not this is how I'm going to do it. I'm just going to do it. And everybody bought it. Everybody on the right bought it. And even if you're not in MAGA and you still voted for Trump, that still proves that you're stupid, because he never gave you a plan. You believed in that fairy tale horse shit. Yeah, here's what I'm going to do. I don't know how I'm going to do it. I'm just going to get it done. Okay, sounds great. Yeah, you bought into that. So you are MAGA adjacent, and you still deserve zero credit for believing that horse shit. At least Kamala said what she was going to do to help alleviate the problem by going after retailers and businesses, people that are price gouging. Oh God, that's communism. It's okay to take different parts of different political ideologies and use them to build a more perfect institution. Now sell that. Sell that to people. Stand by it. Stand behind it. And Democrats can't do it. They can't do it. So I don't know what the answer is. I don't like Zoran Mamdani, the candidate for mayor in New York. He's got a set of balls on him. There's nothing wrong with being a democratic socialist. Socialism has its problems, just like every other political ideology has their problems. Democracy doesn't seem to be working that great, considering we voted to fucking burn our country to the ground and completely destroy it, turn it into a nicer version of Germany 1930s. So democracy isn't that great either, apparently, because it's still fucked up here. And another issue I have is we're still living by rules that were made up by a bunch of racist, slave-owning white men. Yes, the Constitution is a great document. The Declaration of Independence was a great document. It had high ideals for ourselves, but these were made by people who thought owning people was okay. Women have their place, and it's not anywhere in charge. And only men who own land could vote. That was their initial plan. Sounds familiar. Because if you're a rich white man who owns a lot of land, a lot of property, has a lot of money, you can buy your favorite politician and get them wherever you want them. So yeah, if you're a fan of the Constitution that was written over 200 years ago by those assholes, we are living up to that ideal. Their original intent, all men are created equal. Yeah, but there was an unspoken rule that, yeah, we're talking about us. We're not talking about your average everyday citizen, who, by the way, asked us to set up a government where we wouldn't be fucked over. So from beginning, from the spawn of its inception, right, we voted to fuck ourselves because we gave people too much power. And here we are in a system where politicians have all the power and voters are too stupid to understand what kind of power we're giving them when we put them in those political positions. You've got places in the South where they put abortion on the ballot and voters, by majority, voted for abortion protection. Now, the politicians, who are all Republican, are passing legislation to override the votes from the people. The people explicitly said, we want abortion rights protected. We voted for it. And now the people that we voted for to help us do that are going against our wishes. That's the kind of power politicians have, and why it's very, very, very fucking important that we hold them to a very high standard and we stop following them like there's some kind of pariah figures. They're people. They're humans. They're fucking employees. And if voters ever got together and said to ourselves, you know what? They're supposed to work for us. I think we should vote them the fuck out the very next election, the second they do something contrary to our wishes. But we're not smart enough as a country, as a whole, to do that. So maybe a different political ideology might be what the country needs at this point. And there's only a handful of people that are willing to fucking say that out loud, especially politicians. Bernie's been doing it since he was fucking born. AOC's been doing it ever since she got into Congress. You know, I don't I don't know what the ultimate fix is, but there's some starting points that we can identify, and there's some low-hanging fruit that we can address and make lives easier for ourselves if we would just fucking do it. Stop being in a cult. Stop treating political figures like they're sent from God, because they're not. They're not. And let's use our heads. Let's get together. Let's say, hey, The employees of this country are not doing what we want them to do. This is not where we want them to take this country. Our vote is our way of expressing our disappointment with our employees. And if we don't get the results that we're after, you're fired. You got one term. You've got one chance to stand up. We're going to vote for you. And once you get into political office, I don't care if you're a fucking rookie or not, you stand up and say what it is you're standing for, you're fighting for, and don't back down when people find ways to criticize it. If it's the right thing, it should be enough to get you through. But so many times our politicians, Democrats, I'm looking at you directly, there's no follow through. There's no 100% I'm in it no matter what. Even if I fail to make people understand, I'm going to stick by my decisions, my beliefs, no matter what you call it, no matter what the right calls it, no matter how much they make fun of it. So many times Democrats capitulate and they go groveling back and say, well, I can't do this or I can't do that because they're being mean. I mean, I don't fucking get it. I don't understand why we don't fight as hard as Republicans fight. And Republicans don't believe in half of the shit that they vote for. They just want to be on a winning team. I don't want to be on a winning team. I want to be on the right team. And there's so many voters out there that want somebody who's impassioned, who's fucking real, who's not bought by corporate money. There's a dying thirst for that in our party. And nobody seems to be able to live up to that. Obama was as close as we got. Bernie would have done a great job had he not been fucked over by the Democratic Party. We keep sabotaging ourselves. Hillary Clinton was too fucking arrogant. And she got hammered. Bernie would have been caught off guard. So stop sabotaging people who are representing the best of us, who want a better country for everybody, because make no mistake about it, liberal policies benefit everybody. They just do. But not enough. Not enough, because they're still trying to cater to billionaires. So there's your platform. We're anti-billionaire, and we're going to tax them, and we're going to make life better for you. And here's how. Fucking say it. Don't let them say, well, it's socialism, therefore it's bad, therefore we can't vote for it. You fucking go out there and you sell it. You sell it like you need gas for your fucking vehicle or you're not going to make it to work the next day. You sell it like everybody else has to do their job at their fucking jobs, trying to scrape by. Those are the people you're fighting for. Fucking nut up and do it. I'll vote for you if you fucking seem authentic, you know how to talk in public, which is one of the reasons why Kamala didn't win, was because she just isn't good with fucking impromptu discussions. Not that Trump's any better. Trump sounds like a goddamn sixth grader who got held back at least twice. His vocabulary is barely there. But that's a lot of voters in the South and in the Midwest. They're on that level too. he was able to connect with them. That's why they voted for him. They're simple, and he's simple. It was a match made in heaven. So, why is it Democrats can't do the same thing? We can't seem to get out of our own way. So I'm going to be watching that race in New York. And if Zoran wins, it'll be very interesting to see how the rest of the politicians react. Whether or not they're willing to say, you know what, maybe we've been out of touch with our base. Maybe we haven't been listening the way we should. We haven't been listening to everyday people. We've been listening to a bunch of horse shit from people with all the money. Stop worrying about your job and start worrying about the people you were elected to represent. So, that's all I have for today. I just wanted to get that off my chest. It just pissed me off. Trump. Yeah, I know we went pretty far from Trump golfing and cheating, but yeah. Focus on the shit that matters and start looking for ways to fix the problems that we keep creating for ourselves. If we get out of our own way, then maybe we have a chance. But like I said, I don't give a fuck about the polls. I don't care how much they say Trump's underwater. Show me in 2026. Show me at the midterms. Vote like you just had a realization that, holy fuck, my vote really does matter. And if we put the wrong people in, it fucks us. Get educated on who's saying what they believe in, and vote for the people that have your best interest at heart. Don't vote for somebody just because they're popular and because they talk a good game. We need to fucking grind these people down to what they really believe, what they're willing to do to achieve their goals, and if that's in the best interest of this party. And if it's not, tell them to get fucked. Find somebody else. You got one term. If you can't do anything in one term, if you can't make your voice heard and become a thorn in the opposite political party's side, then what fucking good are you? What good are you? Sorry to be so glum about that. I don't know what else to tell you. That's just my viewpoint on the current situation. Is it fixable? Yes, I think it's fixable. But a whole lot of good shit has to happen for it to get fixed. And it remains to be seen if the Democrats are going to be capable of doing what needs to be done. So, if there's any one bright spot, it's that I believe I'm not the only person who thinks this way, and I'm hoping enough of us will start to pressure our party to fucking man up and fight. So, I'm Matt Higgins from the Nighttime Podcast. I wish you well. Have a good day.